In set 9, we had units like Renekton or Aurelia who were capable of beating the PvE stage 1-4 all by themselves. This was a pretty useful trick because it allowed you to reach 10 gold and therefore 1 bonus gold interest at the start of the game to accelerate your economy. There have been a lot of requests to make a video about units for set 10, and I usually put it off because quite frankly it doesn't look like any tier 1 unit has a chance to beat the final PvE stage. One of the reasons why it's more difficult is because Riot made changes to melee pathing and it is not possible anymore to get encircled by 3 minions to maximize an AoE ability. There is only one known strategy that can be used to beat stage 1-4 and it requires Olaf with a Giant's Belt. In this fight I was trying around with a strategy where you give the item to Olaf after he dropped low. He did drop all the way to 12 HP, which is way too close to comfort for my taste. Honestly, it might also just work if you give him the belt at the start, but the result is probably equally risky. But this is not going to be a 1-minute video me telling you that only one Olaf strategy works. We just have to adjust our approach. As I showed before, gold interest works in every single stage. There's just a lot of confusion surrounding the topic because some players don't understand how your passive gold accumulates. As a reminder, you get 2 gold in stage 1-3, then 2 gold again in stage 1-4, then 3 gold, 4 gold, and it caps out at 5 gold in stage 2-3. So instead of putting our focus on stage 1-4, we should instead try to come up with units that can beat stage 1-3, which is a lot easier. Now you might ask yourself, what's the point of beating stage 1-3 since you won't reach 10 gold anyways? Well, this would be true, but there are 2 regions specifically that are relevant here. 3-cost champion and 3 champions. With either of these portals, you start the game with units worth 3 gold instead of 1 gold. This can bring you up to 8 gold in stage 1-3, and if you get another gold drop, you can reach the 10 gold threshold. Now I've tested all of the tier 1 units and I decided to split them into 3 different groups. The first group doesn't work at all. The second group works, but it can also fail if they don't have an item like Giant's Belt, and the third group can do it with no problems. For our first group we have Annie, Nami, Jinx, Cannon and Cassandra. From what I've seen, none of these units look promising at all. There might be some edge cases with a Giant's Belt and good RNG where they can defeat the minions, but I wouldn't risk it. Stay away from these units. The second group includes Evelynn, Lilia, Corki, Taric, Yasuo and Vi. Something all of these units have in common is that they can beat stage 1-3 without items, but they can also fail. It's not uncommon for some fights to come down to the wire. I have definitely had a fair share of 1 HP units when researching this topic. This often has to do with their abilities. For example, Taric has 2 enhanced auto attacks, which works perfect for him to one-shot the second melee and then the caster minion. But you can run into a scenario where he's missing an attack and then you don't have enough damage to kill the second melee unit with 1 swing. This can happen to other units from this category as well. For positioning, I usually went with the hex left or right in front of a melee minion just to minimize pathing, but there's likely a better starting hex if you want to maximize your chances. The only unit that doesn't want to be in the front is Corki. He wants to start as far away as possible from the minions, so he has more time to deal damage and gain mana. If you have a Giant's Belt, then you should be safe with any units from this group, but if you attempt this with any of these units without an item, then please be careful because this can go terribly wrong. The final group only has 2 units, Olaf and Tahm-Kench. This was kind of expected considering how powerful their abilities are in the early game. Olaf with his increased attack speed and healing, and Tahm-Kench with his passive damage reduction have the most reliable kit to defeat stage 1-3 without needing any items. So yeah, this is pretty much it. If a portal was selected that grants bonus gold at the very beginning, then you can utilize some of these units to reach 10 gold in stage 1-3 and kickstart your economy right away. If you know about a secret positioning or a component that guarantees a safe outcome for a unit in the first 2 groups, let me know in the comments. I hope you learned something and see you next time.